Aloha, welcome to Imua Ukulele and also Winkler Woods. We're going to be getting into some of the wood stuff. It's a little bit rainy today, but it's still a beautiful day in Hawaii. So come along and join me for a few minutes as I talk about the woods from Hawaii, most specifically Hawaiian Koa, also known as Acacia Koa. And one thing I want to say right off the bat, koa is found only in Hawaii, except for San Diego Zoo, which has a couple of beautiful trees growing. But generally, it is indigenous to Hawaii. You hear a lot about Java koa, Brazilian koa. That's actually not the same species. You can take one of their trees and it will look like one of our trees. But koa has about 20 different looks, a bunch of different colors. Koa is very unique, very special, and found only in Hawaii. Let's show you some of the bigger pieces that we have here today. They're going to be turned into veneers. Right now we're loading them up. We got Dung and Kalani here working hard to get these, we call these cants. These will be processed into veneer. So, let me get into a little bit about koa itself. Koa is what we're fortunate, it's a tonewood, which means it has tonal properties and can be made into an instrument. Is koa the best tonewood? It's relative. But if you want an original sounding ukulele, you just have to use the wood that they used when they started building it 100 years ago. They started with koa, and that's the sound over the years that have developed. So when you get an original ukulele, you want to use koa to make it sound like the original sound. Whether it's the best or not, that's all subjective. You can make a beautiful rosewood, spruce top ukulele sound awesome, and even other woods. Walnut, there's so many different tonewoods in the world. You could talk for hours about the subject. There's so much stuff out there. But I'm going to stick to Hawaiian Koa, which is what we use. Now, once you get into the cut properly, you get into the different figure or curl factor of koa. There's so many different ways of grading it, but basically there's like a 1 to 5A. 1 would be no curl, 5 is like the cat's meow, the primo stuff. And there are even some places that go CPI, curls per inch. They get crazy with this stuff. But anyway, basically what we do with our ukuleles, we go no, low, medium, and high, and we've kind of separated our oofs into those 3 categories, and that's how we sell them. So we've got nice koa, definitely use nice koa. We have a little upgrade, which is the medium, which is curly koa, and then we have what's called a master grade. These are just stunning, colors is awesome, just really the kind of stuff you drool at. We take our koa, cut it all up into our sets. From there, we go up to our room where we sort it out. Let me take you up there. So here we are in our seasoning room. We take sets and sort them out by grade and sizes. And I'm speaking a little louder because Mac is spraying today and our spray booth is right on the other side of me. Here's what I was talking about. Quarter sawn. Nice and flat, that's how we template it out on the wood. Very nice wood. This is probably 2A grade, 1A, 2A. Not much curl on there. Now I go over here and I start pulling out some curly wood. This is probably a 4 or 5A. I don't know if you can see that curl on there, but this is going to be very nice. A lot of times we don't quite know the final grade until after we finish it and it's completely done. But that would be a higher end. Here in the middle we have what we call our 3 and 4A grade, which goes on our curly upgrade model. And it's harder to see. Yeah, it's harder to see in the raw form. Okay, so here we are. This is a koa log. And if you look down over here, and I'm just standing here to give this some reference. This is probably like 3 foot in diameter or so. It's probably over 100 years old, but definitely on its last legs. Probably got blown over and died. You can see by the rotten core here, you see I can stick my hand all the way up here. That means this tree, koa has a tendency to rot from, kind of like maple, it rots in the center in the pith and then goes up. Because they have such a large, shallow root structure, the wind just tends to knock them over. So koa does have a life expectancy. And what we try to do is make use of those dead and dying trees and not necessarily having to cut the live trees so much, because we have so much wood that can be gotten out of a, you know, theoretically dead tree, but there's still a lot of good wood in here. And I think that's about it. But I did want to show you one more thing. And I'm gonna come to you, and I just have to show you this. This is like, I'll end on this. This can only happen in Hawaii. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I want you guys to guess what happened. Probably can happen in other tropical countries as well. But see that crack on the window? Yeah, how did that happen? Well, we'll find out. So, here we are. Big koa log, a lot of koa. And I think that's about it for today. Any questions or anything, comments, go ahead, shoot us a mail on the Facebook, and we'll try to answer anything you might have. Aloha.